Hell yeah.
Cool. Well, what is up? This is Metal Gets Me High, episode 39. You got me and Razor, and we have a special guest. We have Bonginator. What is up, man?
Hey yo!
What's going on,
Well,
man?
it's
Thanks for
great to have
having me,
you.
guys.
I've been checking out your band since the demo that came out last year.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
And my favorite part about it is I think this new renaissance of death metal. One of the best parts about it is it's not so serious. There's a lot of silliness to it.
Yeah.
And your band kind of is like that, and I think it's funny, it's cool. As someone who loves weed, it makes me like it even more.
Hell yeah!
Top to pieces since it came out, man. That's like in the gym every day on the playlist.
Yeah.
I love the little homages you throw to other bands in that
Yeah,
song.
dude. Fire up the chainsaw, fucking
Yes.
yeah.
The
Love that
freaking the power trip intro kind of feels the same.
Oh, yeah.
Love it, man.
A lot of people, a lot of people in the YouTube comments were like, "Oh, did they ripped off Power Trip? Like, when y'all gonna credit Power Trip?" And it's like, yeah, no
It's
shit.
an homage. Of course,
Yeah.
you know, you can hear it, and you know, it's
Yeah.
It's like it's implied.
It's like, wow, you're clever.
I've heard the term stealing riffs. I like the term borrowing. It's all everyone borrows.
I think in the context of this particular one, it's just like an intro.
Yeah,
and it's been used before Executioner's Text too. It's just a typical kind of thrash thing that just sets the stage, gets everyone like pumped up in the beginning. And yeah, no, sure, I'll totally up. Yeah, though, like I was trying to do the same thing Power Trip did. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's sick, man.
Yeah.
That's the best part about metal is wearing your influences on your sleeve.
Dude, I always say
the band shirt, whatever it is.
Like, could you imagine if like Devourment went and sued like every band that took a Devourment riff?
Yeah,
they'd be loaded.
Yeah.
Or Slayer. I mean, come on. I've heard so many Slayer riffs in music, and I'm
dude, the new Spirit World loaded with Slayer.
Yeah,
that was my top album of 2022. Easy.
Hey, they're a band where I didn't really know much about them until I saw them on the Decibel magazine tour. I was like, damn, like this is pretty sick. I'm gonna have to check out their music. Checked it out, loved them, and then saw them again with 200 Stab Wounds and
nice.
And Creeping Death, and like they leveled up in that 5 months in between.
They came in wearing mariachi outfits.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, it's dope as fuck.
Thanks. I mean, I gotta ask, like, how do you feel about a bunch of white dudes from Las Vegas?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it, man. Hey, their music sounds like very fun. Latin influence, and I'm Mexican, so I'm just like, this is pretty fucking dope. And just seeing there's a big white dude up there in just a big fucking mat. I can't remember who it is, but he's in a mariachi suit too. That's pretty dope looking.
Like how like rock stars used to there. I don't know. There's this country guy in Nashville who makes all those like dope leather suits for all the country singers and shit.
Yeah.
So that's like what it reminds me,
like tassels and shit.
Facts, yeah. I think like I remember like before I would just see them on like hardcore bills every year and but then when they dropped Death Western, I mean they picked up that Western gimmick, which is just like it just grabbed you. It's like that's sick. I want to check that out. And then like you listen to it and it's some of the hardest shit you've heard in your life. It's just like straight, it's only banging riffs. It's like like riff after riff after riff of just mosh. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, and they do perform live. Good.
Yeah, they're on my list of like bands I really want to do shit with in the next year.
Yeah, and to go on that, you have a new album coming out, 420, fucking awesome. On the thing that you posted at the bottom, I'm gonna guess it's the album title is the Intergalactic Gore Bong of Death Pot.
Yeah,
fucking love it.
title track with Devin Swank. I saw Mutilation Barbecue as a feature.
Yep.
Snuffed on Sight. I forgot the other band that's escaping me that's on that track.
There's the other ones are Scat Tag and Texas Ketamine.
Yes,
Oh,
you
fuck
got
yeah.
Keegan on there. That's sick.
Yeah.
Hey,
Man.
shout out Texas Ketamine. We had them on not too long ago. They're great.
Dude, they're silly. Dude, we did that big summer tour this last year, and that was like we were like so out of our element, just like, you know, we wanted to get to the West Coast by whatever means possible. So we pulled, like, our last show was in Louisville, Kentucky, and then we had like a couple days to get to Idaho for the next leg. And we were in Louisville, the shows didn't do too well. We were like really low on money. We just got like our last bit of money was spent on gas, like the last leg of the drive to Idaho. And we were just like so like miserable and like fucking, we were just like, if this show doesn't go well, like, you know, what are we gonna do? But then fucking, dude, like, we linked up with Texas Ketamine, and they were some of the coolest people we ever met. And then fucking, we play the show, and like 200 high schoolers are there, fucking like young ass kids, and they like pack the shit out. We did like, and that was like the best show of the whole tour in terms of like money. And that was like, man, it was that was such a remarkable show, not only because it went so well, but just with the circumstances, and like, you know, it was such a moment.
See,
that kind of goes to show that like when things are going bad, you know, things it's gonna turn the corner. You just gotta, you know, keep your head down.
It definitely surprised us too, because we were like, fucking Boise, Idaho, who cares? You know, like
Boise shows out.
Oh my God, they show out, dude. I was so like, but it makes sense. You got this like one city in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Like, have you ever driven to Boise?
I've driven to Boise.
It's like driving to Las Vegas, right? It's like desert, and then this city in like the middle of just nothing.
Yeah, a lot of flat land.
Yeah. So like, yeah, no, it makes sense that like a city like that would be so like buzzing with students and shit, you know?
Yeah, and they have a scene going, you know, it's not just Texas Ketamine, but Ingrown, like really
Ingrown, fucking brutalism.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on there, and I love to see that at, you know, somewhere that's not California, New York, Florida, you know, Massachusetts, places you kind of know that stuff's going down at. We need more of that.
Dude, it's so easy to build a scene. All that you need is a couple like-minded people. You know, just you start having shows and, you know, bringing people out, and then eventually by doing that, those people will start to form their own bands. And I mean, that's exactly what we saw in Idaho. Everyone was saying like COVID, you know, fucked everything. Then the scene came back. Everyone wanted to go to shows. And then we played with a band, Judas Cradle, who was literally just like a bunch of kids who, you know, met in the scene that past year and started a band.
That's sick.
So it's really easy. It's not easy, but it's really like, it's pretty simple in terms of steps on how to like curate a scene like that. And it's really sick to see it happening all over. And I know like my buddy Blythe, he does like tour managing for Bog and like a bunch of other band. Blythe Stoither, you know him? Okay. He's doing that shit in Birmingham, Alabama, where like he just, you know, started booking a bunch of shows, and now there's like a poppin' scene over there. And that happened in the last year. You know?
Yeah, you could start it like that.
I heard an album from a band from out there, Defense Wound. Freaking
Defense
killer
Wound
album.
is sick, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, I was at a wedding in fucking Huntsville, Alabama, and the fucking I think it was the drummer for Defense Wound. Like, I posted on my story I needed weed, and the drummer from Defense Wound just like pulls up and gives me weed and blunt wraps.
Hell yeah! Hey, that's hey. Anybody who pulls up with weed and blunt wraps is a friend of me.
And you know, you mentioned that too. Like in your area, it seems like there's some stuff going on where you got Frog Mallet, Groaning Wretch, yourself, Wretched Inferno. there's some stuff going on there.
I am incredibly proud, and I rep the shit out of the New England death metal scene. We got some of the best fucking bands right now. We just haven't had like the spotlight, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Wretched Inferno. I listened to that. I had listened to their album last year. I was like, God damn, this is good. And I didn't realize that you guys you have a feature.
On fucking embryonic molestation.
Yeah, dude, that shit was hard.
Thanks, homie.
Yeah, that's just dope.
That's fire.
And all of you guys are like pretty young, and that's what I like to see too, because it's like if you're
Wretched Inferno, they're all like 18.
Yeah, that's what I had heard.
Yeah, again, talented ass kids, dude.
Yeah,
your music sounds this good now. Imagine where you're going to be at 5 years and then 10 years, you know?
Dude, yeah, no, I think like Colin and Will, they just have like it's you know, they have a mature mind about music that, you know, I sure didn't have at their age. And I think like you see it, they are equally as respected as like the veterans in the death metal scene, you know, like they're not kids, you know. We don't treat them like kids out here. Like they're a fucking death metal band, you know.
They put out some good shit, so you know they earn that respect.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned you have some shows coming up with Frog Mallet, Mutilation Barbecue, and Skag Hag.
Yeah, Bonginator 2, Secret of the
We need to get that to the West Coast somehow, man. Yeah. I need to check out you guys and Frog Mallet. That would be fucking. That's a great tour.
Bonginator needs to come back to the West Coast. I mean, all those bands have yet to go to the West Coast. It's just fucking hard, man. Like like it's hard to get there and not make like a month-long tour about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be able to do that and like make up enough money on the way and back, it's like, you know, ends up being a lot. But what I'm really hoping for is like we got some shit coming up. I hope like we get picked up on some big national tour or some shit.
Fuck
and
then
get to do it that way. We've never been to Texas. We've never played in Texas.
Yeah. I heard Texas has such a great scene. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's on our like list of shit to do in 2023 is, you know, get to Texas, get back to the West Coast. Yeah.
I mean, shit, at the Bog, you know, they're going to be touring pretty heavy. I mean, shit, they should fucking take you.
Oh yeah, no, the Bog's on another. The Bog's in another stratosphere. I want to.
Shout out the Bog right here.
Yeah, we all love Bog. Goes without saying.
Have you checked out the new album?
Bro, like fucking 16 times, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, like, yeah, that shit's on repeat in this house, man.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, like, I mean, they managed to actually create like a new thing in death metal. They figured it out, you know?
Yeah. They put their twist on it, and it really left a mark.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And it's like Cody's drumming is so fucking unique,
dude.
And like that's the thing that sets them apart, and that's like they're a drum centric band, is how I see it. You know, like everything comes off as an offshoot of the drums, in the way like their music is like orchestrated, and like the way. Man, it's just like the way Cody like approaches groove, and like the way that he understands like groove and just like placement and everything is so different. He has these like gospel chops that fucking he just like throws. He's like it's like a ballet dancer on the snare drum, like
like I love how, like, the rhythm changes a lot, but like you're like, oh, and then it goes somewhere else, and you're like, oh.
I taught the first time I met them was on the Frozen Hole tour, and their show got shut down because like a pipe burst in another room in the venue. So they had to evacuate the whole venue, but I ended up like talking, like shooting shit with them, and they, like I was like, one of the things I mentioned was like, your guys' music is I can tell as a musician, I know you're trying to sound like it's supposed to sound like dumb and caveman and ignorant, but the amount of technicality and orchestration involved is nuts. Fucking yeah. So they were like, yeah, dude, it's big brain dumb shit. That's what they call it. Big brain dumb shit.
I love that so much. Big brain dumb shit. I love that.
Yeah, no, and that's the best way to describe it. They end up with a product that sounds so fucking heavy. And like, and people untrained ears will listen to that and be like, oh, they're just do, but like not actually picking apart everything that's going on. It's very meticulously arranged.
Yeah. Like the first time I heard Dead as Shit, I was like, how is this so heavy?
Fact,
it doesn't even make sense.
It's like that intro. You're like, oh fuck, anyone can play that. And then like but it keeps going, and like the way the parts move, and like there's like time sync changes, and like man, they're like seriously like peak musicianship, that band. And it's so funny to say, like, I'm saying all this praise to Sanguisugopog as this, like, you know, fucking maestros of like, you know, music, but like I fucking hate technical death metal.
You know, that ran heavy music, you know, for a certain amount of time, and I just like never really got into it. Like it's cool, like you're playing really fucking fast, and that's sick. But
death
like
metal has always been in a genre that has like there's trends within it. You know, right now it's this, you know, like OSDM kind of hardcore stuff. That's fucking awesome. Everyone loves it. A couple years ago, it was all tech death. I mean, even like the first wave of deathcore, you could say, was a trend within death metal. Like the first couple like Chelsea Grin albums and shit. Like, but yeah, no, I think like tech death was definitely dominating death metal for a while. But Frozen Soul, in their Spotify description, had a really good quote, which was, Frozen Soul is like a breath of fresh air in a genre that emphasizes technicality, something like that, where it's basically like you listen to it and you're like, oh yeah, that's fucking death metal. Okay.
Yeah. You're like that. Okay, if we need it's a palate cleanser. You're like, okay, so this is what death metal is right here.
What I love about all like the newer death metal is like just the movement. There's so many riffs that you like want to shake your head to, which on you know, the more shreddy tech stuff, it's hard to do that.
Yeah, no, it's mosh over music mentality.
Yes, 100%.
You know, when I'm writing and arranging, my the way I think is like, what do I want the crowd to do next? Like, how do I want the energy of this song to flow? You know.
Well, listening to your EP last night, I was out here in my garage moshing by myself. It was getting me going.
Love to hear that.
Well, how did you get into heavy music?
So I mean, when I was in high school, just like, you know, had a friend that was into fucking Iron Maiden, and you know, I got into the Big Four and all that. Pretty quickly gravitated towards like thrash and death metal. Like my favorite bands in high school were like Cannibal Corpse, Suffocation, Deicide. Been like big fans of those guys ever since. Possessed. I went to music school fucking for college, and everyone was really into gent and prog. So like I got basically, I was like, all right, so like I gotta be into this now. So like I did that for a while, but then once fucking death metal started coming back again, I was like, okay, this is sick. Like, you know, like, yeah, this is what people want to do now. Not just like that it's trending, but like, you know, like this is what like the musicians want to do. This is what people want to make bands with now, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking yeah. So that's kind of how I got like really back involved with death metal. I've always fucking like, it's always been my favorite though.
Fuck yeah.
A lot of people have this assumption with the new death metal bands that's like it's all just hardcore kids that are trying to hop in on the clout.
No, you know what I love though? I love that the hardcore kids coming in. If it's bringing an influence of a different sound because there's like a boom of it right now. So whatever it is, keep it going.
Death metal's always been hardcore influenced in some way or another. I mean, maybe not like directly with the bands, but just like, I mean, the first wave of death metal was all thrash and hardcore kids.
Yeah.
Fucking Obituary. They were all,
People have always thrown spin kicks to Obituary. So that's the thing. And
absolutely, dude.
What I like too about like the scene right now is that a lot of the older bands are taking out some of these younger bands, and unfortunately, as much as we love these older bands, they're gonna have to, retire at some point, and somebody else is gonna have to take their spot.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's like Ozzy Osbourne did this shit till he was like what, 80 something?
Yeah.
He still wants to do one more, he said.
Yeah.
He said, all down the stage.
The problem with that is his music is like infinitely easier to play. I think
he's not on stage freaking, banging his head and freaking.
I think the way that death metal is though, I think like you'll see a lot of like members kind of come and go with these older bands, but I think they're always gonna like just hire new guys and shit,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which, just recently seeing Cannibal Corpse this last year, like they sounded as good as ever.
Dude, yeah, I've seen them 9 times.
There was not a moment in that set where Corpse Grinder wasn't freaking doing his hair flip. Like,
dude, I've seen them 9 times. Like the first time was in 2015, and they kill it every time.
Dude, they really do.
It didn't even make sense when he was up there. Like for a good 80% of the show, he's swinging his fucking head. It doesn't make sense.
No, I do that shit too. It's hard to do it when you play guitar too. Like for that much. Yeah.
How did Bonginator start?
Basically, I was in this other band called Mudfuck for a long time. And then like that band broke up. At the same time, I was demoing a bunch of death metal songs, which ended up being like the EP. I did the whole EP just by myself, really like in like a couple weeks, just as like a passion project. And then I wrote down the lyrics, fucking recorded, produced everything. Then I put out the demo. There was pretty quickly a demand for it. I got some of the other members from Mudfuck back in.
Dude, well let me tell you that fucking intro on it got me pumped. It got me so pumped to listen to because I started with the demo. I was like, okay, it's 3, and then the intro just got me so pumped for. I was like, dude, this is fuck yeah, let's go. Yeah, so that's sick.
I love doing like the only thing I make other than death metal is synthwave. So it's like really fun to be able to do that.
Yeah, there was an interlude too on the.
That was trying to be like a John Carpenter
interlude. Yeah.
That was like my like low budget horror movie kind of thing.
I liked it. Yeah.
So with the band, like, would you say like the weed stuff and like just being like funny, does that make your job easier as far as writing, or does that make it kind of hard? Like,
I kind of hate writing lyrics. So the like being able to make the lyrics kind of a joke definitely helps.
Yeah.
But no, like when people ask me if it's like satire, right? It's hard to, I guess, like technically, it's totally satire, but that's fine. The best way I can describe it is like I'm just way better at making people laugh than like scaring people.
Yeah.
like I don't gravitate towards like wanting to do. I don't know, like I can't have like a serious presentation like that. That's not who I am.
Yeah.
You know, I fucking love all the aesthetics and shit, and like, you know, I'm into all this stuff, but it's just not like it's not how I want to present myself. So I just choose to be like funny.
Yeah.
Well, it reminds me
it's a cool route.
Municipal Waste. You know, Municipal Waste is a freaking great band.
Oh yeah,
they're a funny band. You know what I mean? And that's
absolutely fucking. And I mean, yeah, they're like Municipal Waste.
The art of partying.
Like a lot of like old school death metal, like not old school death metal, but just like people have been into it for a long time and like gatekeeping. You know, they don't like to see bands that make jokes like us get success. They think it's like, well, they think it's like cheating because it's like, oh, you know, it's just because of this, you know, like meme ability.
Nah,
but I just think that means I'm better at marketing, dude. Like
I was gonna say, you took a fucking such a unique path with it that I love. I mean, I smoke probably too much, and I when I saw it and heard it, I was like, dude, this is fucking awesome. So you found a great path.
I appreciate that. Like,
I want to know how old were you the first time you smoked? And when was the first time you got high, like really high?
Okay, I'm glad you asked both questions. The first time I smoked was when I was 15 at the Cannibal Corpse concert, the first one I ever went to.
Oh yeah.
But it was like someone else's weed. I didn't know how to smoke right, and like, you know, he got really pissed off because I like wasted it and whatever.
Yeah.
But then like the actual time was like the next year. Me and some buddies just, you know, smoked weed, and I did it correctly when I was 16. And then I was like, this is sick.
You're like, I'm blasted right now.
Nice.
Hell yeah. And what's your favorite method of smoking? I saw you smoking a joint there. You got Bonginator as the name. What's your favorite method?
Facts. A lot of people assume I do be taking bong rips, but no, my fucking favorite is grape flavored blunts, dude.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. I love blunts.
Yeah, no fact. I love, like on tour, dude. Like, well, the flavored blunts are banned in Massachusetts
and in California.
Yeah, fact. So we have to like go across the state to get them. But on tour, dude, we buy them by the box and fucking like. Yeah, all we smoke is great blunts.
Fuck yeah.
And then like
never get tired of it.
We also have like our buddy that makes the bongs, like the Chill Chalice. He sends us our own custom ones for the car.
Oh, that's awesome. You got to have those portable bongs. You can be able to take them wherever you need.
And those are good. It's like if someone just wants to smoke, but not everyone else does, you know, everyone has their own little bong.
Yeah, everybody just gets a little personal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, on the last tour, we were on the road for 13 days, and we smoked like 74 blunts.
You just rappers everywhere.
Basically, yeah. Whenever we stop to clean the car, it's like you find like the game rappers like under the seats and everything, like in the console.
I've got to know, like, what is the smoking protocol like for you guys, like going over different state lines where, you know, there's varying degrees of how accepting they are of it.
I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, fuck
like,
it.
I gotta just do it unapologetically wherever I am, and like, fucking obviously I don't smoke inside of buildings. I'm not allowed to, because that'd be a dick move.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to, you know, I'd like to get to that level where I'm like Snoop Dogg and I can do whatever, you know.
Me and Justin say all the time, one of our favorite things to do is to go into places knowing we reek
dude, yeah.
Just knowing we reek and just looking at people.
I feel like I'd be like stinking like weed, like feeling like the Giga Chad, like fucking walking in the buildings and shit, you know. But just like absolutely, like, and I'm just like I'm in the car breathing it into my shirt just to be a dick. Like,
dude, I remember one time
recently I had a coworker who I fucking hated, and like everyone hated him. And someone told on him for smoking weed, which like no one cares about, but someone like wrote him up for it, is as a deliberate way to like, okay, we need to get this guy fired. And so he got in trouble for it, and he was afraid to smoke. So like just to flex on him, I used to like smoke, like I'd be like, you know, breathing it into my shirt, smelling as like terrible as I fucking could, just to be like, and yeah, and then I'll like go like talk to the managers and shit, because like, yeah, no one cares when I do it.
I feel that because one of the funniest things I remember of like reeking like pot was me and Razor go to the gym, and we went into the sauna one time years back, and somebody in there was pissed, like, it smells like weed in here. But there was like 9 or 10 people in the sauna. And I was like, I know it's me, but I don't give a shit, man.
Yeah, I will 100% smoke. I'll at minimum 2 bowls before I go in.
I mean, like, consider how the gym like usually smells, and then this guy's
weed is a pleasure.
And the other thing, you mentioning like you just smoke. Well, I remember me and Razor when we used to commute, we would smoke like 4 or 5 blunts on the commute, and one day it kind of just hit me. Like I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, we've been commuting for years, and every time I look at other cars, like we're the only ones smoking. So like it was funny that it's so normal to me, and then like at that moment I was like, oh shit, like this isn't a normal thing, but I just fucking do this shit anyway.
Well, I think most of the people in their cars are probably just like ripping pens and shit.
Oh, dude,
you gotta lead with the idea. I always tell, if anyone in my band's like afraid of getting in trouble, right? We're in Texas or something. Like you gotta remember, everyone in the universe smokes weed. Every single person in the universe smokes weed.
Either they smoke it, they eat it, something. They ingest it some way.
Yeah, exactly. And even if they don't, they like, you can still
know
just
someone who does.
Do, you know, the
people who don't are clueless usually.
Dude, and when it comes to like, actually, yeah, like when we went into Texas, my bandmates were like, okay, yeah, Eric, we're in Texas. We shouldn't be smoking in the car as much. Like, we got to be careful because, you know, we could seriously get, you know, in trouble for this. And I'm like, I'm just going to smoke fucking harder, dude. I'm gonna smoke weed like it's like a fucking Olympic sport now.
You're going to be double fisting, just fucking.
Yeah, no, it's funny. On the big tour, we like drove through Texas and we went to Wrecking Ball, but we never we didn't like play at all. We had some shows lined up, but it was the same weekend as Wrecking Ball. So I was like, well, they're
everyone's gonna be there. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Did you go? Was that the most recent one, or was that the one where like it was so hot?
The giant one we did in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah. And
nice. As far as like music goes, do you regularly keep up with new releases, or do you usually just?
Yeah, no, I like try my best to keep up with everything new that's coming out.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, like, and honestly, like, I'm really judgmental of people who are like into metal and then like will only listen to like classic albums. You know what I mean?
Like,
there's a lot of people that just don't, you know, really care to listen to anything new, and that just pisses me off.
No, I feel that, man.
You know, you know, it's like how can you say you're really into it if you're not gonna like, you know, like keep up and like know what's happening.
Yeah, you got to.
Unfortunately, that was me for a couple of years, and honestly, like that like 2-year period where that was me was when I got most bored with the genre, because it's like, man, I've listened to this same Morbid Angel album,
right? No, I agree, man. Like, I mean, everyone kind of starts somewhere, but I think the trend now definitely is people care more about the new shit.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what it is? It's just the promo that all the bands do.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know we were on the Bog for a while. They had some of the best fucking promo leading up to the album. Just those funny little videos on Instagram and shit.
All the memes and shit, yeah.
You know who I feel like kind of started that too, like this whole movement, and it is the band who really got me like back into checking out new metal, and that's Gatecreeper. Like
facts, Gatecreeper and Power Trip started this whole shit.
Like Jay's freaking, like
Power Trip like started. In my opinion, Power Trip started this entire kind of retro revival that we're seeing. Maybe not like started it, but they kind of really curated it, and they brought the most people in. This emphasis on like old school and retro kind of shit.
And they toured with everybody and anybody. Like when we saw them with High on Fire, Devil Master, and Creeping Death.
That's
like
sick.
Four very different bands.
Yeah, facts. I saw Power Trip 3 times, one Cannibal Corpse, and then twice at festivals. Yeah.
Such a bummer that Riley passed. But
dude, I didn't realize when I was at Wrecking Ball, I didn't realize how significant of a moment that was. Like we were there, and we're in Dallas, Texas, and we're seeing Fugitive's first show. Which that's the first time that Blake played. So I realized in that moment I was like, shit, I'm in for this is special, this is like.
How was that show? Because I saw that show on YouTube. On like social on YouTube.
Yeah, no, that was a really good show. It was a really sick show. Yeah, I really liked it. I broke my toe during Bog set and I couldn't really enjoy the rest.
Yeah.
That means you're going hard then.
Yeah, you're going hard.
But yeah, no, I mean, that shit was awesome. I mean, the lineup's insane. Yeah.
As far as recent music, what is some stuff that has come out like fairly recently that you really fuck with?
Well, I mentioned the new Spirit World, Stabbing. They put out that album. That's just fucking dope.
That was a great album.
Obviously the new Bog. Fucking Tribal Gaze 9 Quiet. I mean, that came out a couple months ago, but that shit's been on repeat for sure.
That album there, you mentioned it with Spirit World. That's another album though. Every single second of that album is a beautiful riff.
Oh my god, yeah, no, it's nonstop fucking debauchery, like fucking killer shit.
I love how they call somebody called Quentin, the guitarist from the band, the Picasso of riffs. And I love that.
That's sick. I'm actually here. I'm gonna look at my Spotify. Let's see what I've been listening to. I was listening to Mugshot. The new Drain is awesome. I love Drain.
Drain is sick. They're like near us. They're in our Bay Area scene.
Facts. Let's see. I've actually been going back a little bit. Going back at a lot of Possessed and shit.
The Roots.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to a lot of synthwave. I'm not gonna lie.
I never really listened to much synthwave up until the only like reference I have was the Blood Incantation album, and it's funny because like
that's like ambient.
Oh, okay, so it's different than that then. My bad.
But yeah, synthwave is like specifically like that 80s. Like that 80s kind of aesthetic, like just like the intro for Bonginator and like the interlude,
okay.
Fucking so like I always go to like I'm using like those like like the tom samples, like the do.
Yeah, I love that. Like I said, I love that intro on it. That shit was it fit perfectly.
The new album has another one of those.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I got the same favorite voice actor too.
My favorite track looking at the track list, just so fucking funny. I can't wait to hear the song. 420-pound poop. Like,
Dude, that's what everyone's like. That's
I'm
what
excited.
everyone's like wanting to listen to. And it's a banging song. It's heavy as fuck.
like
But
that's
I was surprised that was everyone's favorite. Like, I mean, I guess I should have thought because, like, obviously, you know, it's the name.
This name. It's got a great name.
I mean, it makes sense because my favorite song on the new Bog album is "Testicular Rot." Like, it just like you say it out loud, and you're just like, "That's fucking funny." Like,
That's good.
how do you like come up with those ideas? You just get like really stoned, and something makes you laugh. You're like, "That's it."
I really I mean I'm always writing just like shit down. I start with the song title and then I write the lyrics.
Fuck
Okay.
yeah.
You know, so like
You get like a picture.
Yeah, exactly. So like 420-pound poop, I was like, this is funny.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to write right there.
Exactly. I mean, the Zombie Party Rockers, the new one that's coming out, that was like I wanted to write a song about Return of the Living Dead, but also be funny about it, and also like I was like Zombie Party Rockers.
That's fucking. It's such a great like concept.
It's funny, yeah. Like we're doing like these horror themed singles, but the rest of the album really isn't like horror themed that much. But no, it's sick. I love doing the videos, and I love the we've been like ripping all of the DVD art and shit.
Yeah,
That's what we did for
it
Chopped
has
to
that old
Pieces.
school feel.
Facts. Yeah, Chopped to Pieces is about the 1984 slasher classic Pieces.
Oh shit! Okay.
Fucking.
Did you watch the movie and think about it, or were you like, oh, that's a good movie? Like, how does that work?
I think like my buddy, I was like probably last year, I was like really getting into low budget horror movies, fucking loving the shit. I hit up my buddy Jack Shanahan, who I have a project with him now called Scissor Hash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And like me and him, we're like fucking like what's the phrase? I forget, but fucking he's really into like horror and pinball and death metal, and he grows weed.
Okay.
Like, you know, we have a lot in common, like to a pretty specific degree, and it's a little weird. But
yeah, you're like, are you me?
Yeah. He has this sick fucking battle jacket with all these gore grind and death metal bands, and he's like a big thing of like the Putrid Stew face.
Oh shit!
It's really sick. Anyways, I was like, hey man, I'm getting into like more of these like low budget kind of things, and I was like, I need you to give me like a crash course. So he was like, you got to see Pieces, and I was like, fuck yeah. I saw it, and I instantly loved it, and I think I knew I wanted to write a song about it pretty immediately into watching it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the lyrics just kind of came. It's, you know, just writing about the song and making it funny. The movie is about, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but it's about like this kid in the beginning, his mom finds his like porn stash, so he kills her with an axe. And then like, yeah, and then and one of the things is this puzzle of like a naked woman. Like, so it's like a jigsaw puzzle. And then like it just skips to like later, like 30 years later, he's a dean of a college, and he's like going around killing all these girls with a chainsaw, trying to finish his jigsaw puzzle of the naked lady. Yeah, it's sick. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's like it is the quintessential like 80s low budget horror. Fucking I heard like Quentin Tarantino has like private showings of this movie with all his like hotshot cinema friends, you know.
You guys gotta watch this.
Yeah,
check it out. I've been, you know what? I watch a shit ton of podcasts.
Yeah,
and I watch a podcast where it's called Zach Amico's Midnight Spook Show.
Nice.
And Yeah, yeah, and basically they put on like a low budget classic horror film, like just something super obscure, and they play it. And he's a comedian. He has two other comedians go on, and they just commentate on the movie while it's playing, and
It's like
it's my
Mystery Science
favorite.
Theater.
Yeah, dude, it's my favorite. That shit's great. So I've been getting into those older like slasher films
Hell
recently,
yeah.
and they're
No,
dope.
it's sick. Dude, you got to go, like, Tubi has all the good ones.
Yeah, Tubi
Yeah,
does.
I heard Tubi. I heard there was another one. The one that he uses is uh
There's Shutter and Screambox. Are the
Shutter. I think it's
yeah.
Shutter that he was the one that he was using. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, Shutter's dope. Shutter's dope. They have a lot of good shit. I don't like the newer ones of like the like Sharknado and all that, and like
Okay.
yeah.
Attack and
Like
shit.
the Sci-Fi Channel type movies.
Yeah, no, those suck.
I guess with those movies, the problem is like the CGI usually is really
No,
bad.
it's all about the practical gore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and also like the acting's bad, so it's like this is hard to watch because the CGI is
They
bad
only
and the
hire like porn stars.
yeah. As far as like with the music, how do you come up with like the features? Do you like when you're writing maybe think like, oh, this would sound sick with this person, or is it like, hey, do you
No,
want to hop on?
I think I kind of approach it where like I'll leave a section of a song that I'll be like, okay, this is a good opportunity to have someone else feature. I mean, I think of features like, I mean, this might like it's totally just marketing for me. There is the fact that like sometimes, yeah, no, it's someone like their voice is cool and it fits here, but it's definitely more of like, okay, I want to have this number of features on the album. So I gotta like, I think of that beforehand, and then I just make sure to leave sections free for that to happen.
Okay.
But I knew going into it, I knew I wanted Scab Hag. Mike's voice is really fucking unique and sick. I wanted Mutilation Barbecue. I wanted Texas Ketamine. I wanted Bog and stuff. Yeah, no, I guess because I did pick like really unique vocalists in terms of like like technique and how they sound.
Yeah, they
they're very.
definitely
You
you
could
hear
pick them
them,
out of a lineup.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Like as much as it'd be sick sometime to have a feature from Corpse Grinder, like it would be kind of
Oh
like redundant.
man, that'd be awesome.
that would be a humbling moment, I feel like
Oh,
too.
absolutely. Dude, Snuffed on Sight told me they used to play Bonginator tracks in their car and send Snapchats of it to people and tell them that Corpse Grinder featured on a song of theirs. And when they told me that, I was like, that's such a sick compliment.
Yeah, that's just awesome.
And that's what's so sick about your guys' music is like, yeah, it does have a Cannibal Corpse feel to it, but like in
I mean,
that
yeah, they're
old
my
school
favorite
vibe.
band.
But you have slams and like different stuff
Yeah,
to
no, I
make
mean,
it different.
yeah, no, the Cannibal Corpse is my favorite band, but the influence goes way beyond that.
And that's sick. I feel like to some extent that's probably you just like I want to make a band that sounds like all the stuff that I like. That's for me.
Yeah,
And
yeah, pretty much. I think like there's also the fact it's like I want to. There's also like I want to write music that's like there's shit that I crave that I haven't heard yet that I'm like that's my opportunity to invent it.
yeah, that makes sense.
I think a lot of like the new shit I've been writing is really influenced by like Spirit World and Drain.
Okay, so
Like they have this like their riff writing is just sick. It's very like
Yeah.
bare bones fucking like sick riffs.
and
Fuck yeah.
I unfortunately haven't seen Draven live, but whenever I watch their videos online, that looks like one of the most
So fun.
energized sets.
Yeah.
Like Sammy, that guy is an incredible frontman.
Oh yeah.
That band I feel like is gonna do some stuff, and that scene in general, like obviously Bolt isn't around anymore, but like that band Scowl is starting to get big. Tsunami, like
Tsunamis, yeah. I think fucking dude, Drain toured in Australia and had like all like packed ass shows. Like that's sick.
That is.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Like how the fuck? Dude, our Bonginator's top city is Helsinki, Finland on Spotify.
All right.
That's dope. Hey, shout out Finland.
But the Finns have some sick death metal, man. I mean,
yeah, facts.
Demigod's freaking. That's some good stuff right there.
Facts. I feel like we probably got added to some like playlist that's popular in Finland. You know,
probably.
That's usually how that stuff works.
Yeah. We'll start to wind it down, but like, let's say somebody comes up to you who's a noob to metal. What are like 4 or 5 albums that you would say, hey, check this out? If you don't like any of this, it's probably not for you.
Like in terms of like death metal, like you're saying, sorry, you did cut out a little bit. But you're saying like if someone wanted like a crash course into death metal, what I would suggest to them?
Yeah.
Man, I would definitely one is Seven Churches by Possessed.
Okay.
Then fucking it's hard, man. It's hard to limit it to albums because of not only how diverse, but how like quickly the genre's progressed.
Yeah.
Like I could easily say like fucking Possessed, Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, Obituary, Bolt Thrower. But to pick one album from each of those bands that define them is near impossible, man.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. And
so I would say Cannibal Corpse, honestly, if you want the Vile or Torture.
Vile or Torture? Okay.
Yeah. Cannibal Corpse. And then Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness, Obituary, Slowly We Rot, and Cause of Death. I mean, Bolt Thrower, I forget the name, but the first 2 albums they did, the War one, yeah. Well,
gotta get the P's and Q's right, dude. Which I feel stupid for being so late to a Bolt Thrower party.
It's like you got to say like Mortician, fucking Hacked Up for Barbecue. There's so much, and then like I didn't even mention Death. So like
that's a crazy one too. They are so different from all the rest of the death metal bands.
Oh yeah, and they also all their albums are so different. Like
yes,
it's
almost like a different era with every album. And
exactly. That's how people refer to it. They're like Symbolic era death, Leprosy era death. My favorite's Leprosy.
What's that?
My favorite's Leprosy.
Leprosy is your favorite?
Yeah.
My favorite death would probably have to be Crystal Mountain.
Facts, yeah. That's a good one. Well, that was off what's that album from?
Symbolic, sorry.
Symbolic, yeah.
I don't know why, but yeah, dude, they're freaking sick. I think the only band, which, just because it's not a long discography, but the only band that
Whoa, Al just cut out. Oh shit! Fucking, he was over here. He should be back right here in a second. What the hell? That is very odd, man. Fuck yeah!
My bad.
There he is.
I don't know what the hell happened there. But we'll end it on is the last question we like to ask is, how does metal get you high?
I mean, like, I smoke weed and listen to metal.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Go hand in hand.
There's no better combination.
No, I mean, there's an undeniable fact that metal makes you want to move, makes you want to dance. It brings alive something inside of these people that makes them go fucking
ape shit.
Nuts. All these fucking degenerate idiots. Metal.
I'm one of them. Guilty as charged.
But yeah, no, that's what I would say. That's how metal gets me high. Makes me want to step.
Fuck yeah.
I feel that. Well, we put your link tree in the description. We want people to check out the new album, check out Chopped Pieces, the new video that's coming out. I think I love that it's coming out on 420 because it gives me something to look forward to on my 420.
Absolutely.
Cannot wait, man. Thank you for your time. And then, of course, please go see Bonginator, Frog Mallet, Mutilation Barbecue, Scab Tag. That's a fucking sick bill. You know, who knows where that bill will be, like I said, in 5 to 10 years, because
facts.
You guys are just starting.
Well, thank you, man. I had a great time. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
For the rest of your day.
Absolutely. All right. Peace out.